There's a contempt case before the Supreme Court, and it's against the management of Montie FM, and also three others. One, the program hosts, as well as two panelists, and apparently two of the panelists became a subject of contention some few days before Tuesday about comments they had made when they seemed to suggest that they knew where the Supreme Court judges were, etc. Such comments also being attributed to threat to the integrity of the Supreme Court's judges themselves.
Well, contempt generally is, as it were, it's a discretionary tool that the courts have. The contempt is there so that they can regulate and be able to do their work in peace. And so anything that the courts or the judges feel, would bring their name into dispute, the court into dispute, or impede the process that leads to they arriving at a fair judgment, and many other things constitute contempt. I believe that in this particular case, this is not the first. You remember in the election petition case, Sir John and many other people fell below the standard and were invited to the Supreme Court. Some were left off the hook, and some had to go and do a little time behind bars. This is another. But again, it is interesting if you look at it. I think this time the court has gone as far as inviting the owners of the station, the producer, I understand, the host, and then the people the panelists.
Yes.
So this is quite an expansive. Is it good? In one vein, I'll say yes. Because if you own something, it's important that you show an interest in how it operates. And so I think that the owners may not have been in contempt properly so called. But if they allowed their radio station or their TV stations to be used for this kind of thing, they may have to come to the Supreme Court. At least if they go away with even a warning, I think it sends the right signals across board, not only to Montie FM, because many other radio stations do this kind of thing. And some of us consistently has refused to speak to radio stations or appear on particular programs because of this kind of thing. Some of us have had a real privilege of visiting places like Rwanda and other places, and I do not think that I want to send this country on that path. And I will not support anybody whose intent is to send our country to that path. So insightful language and insulting language to our judges will not be countenanced at all, and it shouldn't be countenanced by anybody. Having said that, I am not in any way saying by the stretch of it that the Supreme Court is above criticism. You can criticize them when they finish their judgment. You can criticize them if they say something which is not part of their work. If they go out there and say things, you can also express your opinion. So nobody should get the impression that once these things happen, that the Supreme Court is above reproach and things. I know the Supreme Court is not above reproach. Just as we can wake up in the morning, take our calls, telephones, and call into a radio station and don't disagree with the president because he said this or that or that. The Supreme Court judges, just like me, an MP, just like you, we can criticize or disagree as it were. But where there are things like threat of death, I think that is a bit problematic. Now, my pain in all this is the politicization of this matter once again.
How is it being politicized?
I'll tell you. Yesterday, Daily Guide published something, and I came and I disagreed with them. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I disagreed with them that NDC has done this and that and that. But look, in actual fact, the person who is purported to have made the statement is not a party member. He was a known member of another party who has also come to denounce him. There is an
come to denounce his action.
There is an Akogan, Akogan, who is an NDC person, but the facts are beginning to show that he wasn't part of that program. The 29. He wasn't in the studio. So he couldn't have made those statements, contributed that statement in the studio on that day. So clearly, he wasn't part of it. You understand? So really, we should not politicize, and it's being pushed as if NDC. But I'm saying that the NDC person himself has come out to explain. In actual fact, when the facts went out, I don't know how the Ghana Bar Association got it wrong, but they included him, and also he has come out to ask for to demand an apology and a retraction from the Ghana Bar Association, and has threatened to even take the bar to court for.
Well said.
Yeah, but I'm saying that this is not one of those matters we should be talking about politics. It is usually, if it was said by an NPP person, it was bad enough.
So you're saying it's condemnable across board?
Yes, and I'm saying that we shouldn't be doing this kind of thing. That today, NDC boys tell judges what something. What we don't fear jail, but it's not true. Read the story. There's nothing in this story.
What they were talking about was when the panelists was speaking that day.
Yeah, but
so it was a quotation from the initial.
No, but you see, yeah, but the way it is.
Otherwise, it's a tabloid.
No, it's not. Yes, but the way it is, it's unfair. Yeah. It's unfair, totally unfair.
It is a tabloid.
Because one, I'm saying that the guy was. Yeah, I know. No, but you see, it has been done as though to say that it was said after the judge has called. Yeah. So this agenda, yes, but this agenda must stop. Right. Let's deal with certain things.
Dodge points made.
Having gone, let me conclude by saying that, look, like I said, it's a good thing that the Supreme Court invites these people to come and explain. I hope that they will go out there, because the McAllister guy has apologized copiously.
He has?
Yes, copiously.
He's the one who was making the threat.
Yes, he's the one who is purported to have said it. Montie management has actually written officially to apologize.
But they have to go and still.
Yeah, I mean, yes, to apologize. And so I hope that should be the posture of all of us. This should send as a signal to all of you, all media houses.
Well, all of us.
That we should be very careful,
including our guests.
Yes,
because this one was not made by.
But yes, but it's important that
even though the presenter allowed.
Yeah, I'm saying that yes, it's important that you stop people who are making such statements from your networks.
Okay, one person who will not make that statement is Honorable Simon.
I will not either.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I pray
but what do you make of the whole incident in itself, and now that they have to go and face the courts on such charges of contempt?
There are some few radio stations or media houses in this country that from the blow of the whistle started operating with impunity, insults and all sorts of things. I'm not going to mention.
I wanted to tell you to mention it.
No, I only talk about Montie. When Montie started operating, some of us have criticized them ever since they started. They've been lambasting Nanado Dankwa as if they set up the radio station for Nanado, just to criticize Nanado.
So you think it's targeted at?
And it's because of these things that leads to politicization of issues. Because if a particular radio station decides to attack only one political party, and there's an issue with that radio station, definitely to be politicized.
Well, we're told that there's also another station on the other side that also does that.
Exactly. So when it happens to the other radio station, definitely to be politicized. If you give fair presentation or assessment of issues, when there's an issue at stake, it will be very difficult for it to be politicized or over politicized. But in this case, these people, and now it's West. Do you know? Formerly it was only in Accra. Now they've linked up with another. Yes.
How do they call it?
Yes.
Affiliates.
In Kumasi. Yes. And if you listen to, that was the first.
The affiliate is Yes FM.
Yes FM in Kumasi. And it was the first time I heard myself some of the pronouncement on that particular station. I just put it off. Somebody called me that tune into this radio station and listen. I said no. I called the person, I can't listen to these things. And I will never even allow any of my children or my relatives to listen to what is going on. So they've done this with impunity, and they felt they could do it and get away with anybody or any institution. There is not every institution that you can attack wrongly. And people were more concerned when the pronouncements were made at the eve of the Martyrs' Day. When judges were kidnapped in the night, I wouldn't even say arrested, they were kidnapped in the night and murdered in cold blood. Then you come out the day before people were going to observe such heinous day, you come out and they make similar pronouncements. That is why,
because that's a very sad day.
Yes,
across.
Yes, that is why the whole country said, why? And they were speaking as if all the laws in this country are within their bosom, and they are the only people above the law. And even to say that when crisis occur in this country, they will marry the Chief Justice. You didn't hear, or you've not listened?
I've listened to a tape, but I didn't listen to that extent.
Marry the Chief Justice, and that has a lot of implications. It could be assassination, it could be rape, all sorts of things. Very dangerous.
So the speech was just in bad taste.
Very, very, very. I don't think there will be anybody across the political divide who will say that it was in good faith. I don't think you have one person. It was totally in a very bad taste. And I hope that all of us who have the opportunity to be on radio, on TV, should learn from this and guard our utterances. You see, it's just an opportunity that we've been offered to be here. There are people who are more knowledgeable than us, who don't have the opportunity on such platforms. So when we get this opportunity, we have to use it to the benefit of the whole country. And this issue that the other guy, is it Akugan or something, said he wasn't there, it baffles me a little. If he wasn't there, why is it that the FM station is saying they suspended those two people from all their programs? Why then?
Because the statement from the station also said they had suspended. Yes, and then including, and then they've advised the host or something, or they've spoken to the host. If he is not among them, then they should only apologize on behalf of only one, not the two. But anyway, the issue will be dealt with later. Now the whole process has begun. I cannot jump the gun. I'm not a legal brain like my colleague, my good friend. Who's a lawyer?
Who's a lawyer? I don't belong to the learned profession.
You deal with numbers a lot.
Exactly. I prefer numbers. I'm more comfortable with the numbers. That one, even when I'm asleep and you wake me up, I can say something. But with the law profession, I don't belong to that side, and I'm not knowledgeable.
But are you? But as we about wrapping up, are you then? Have you taken a lot of solace from the fact that there have been condemnations across the board, across the board?
Oh yes, you see, and I think we should have been doing this long time, but better late than never. We should have been doing this long time, because you see, when something happens on a particular radio station, I don't want anybody to see that maybe I'm criminalizing or I'm imputing.
Oh no, generally. Yeah. I mean generally.
We should say this is not good. Do you understand it? My principle is, if I tell you indoors that I don't support this and you disagree with me, there's no way you can force me to come out publicly and defend. I will never defend it.
Okay.
Never. And I think we should go by that. If you think so, you tell your people they won't agree, refuse to go on air or to go public and defend it. If we do that, people will stop. And we should condemn, whether in our party or in any other party. Thank you.
The gentleman who just concluded the show for us is Simon Osei-Mensah, Member of Parliament for Bosomtwe, but more importantly, he is the 4th Deputy Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, my
brother.
And
George Lowe, Member of Parliament for North Dine. He's also a lawyer. Thanks for joining me, sir.
Anyway, we are good friends.
Oh, you guys are good friends?
Yes.
Very good. A lot of solidarity.